Turn the music off, yeah.
Otherwise, I won't be able to hear it. I'll double check.
We are professional.
Oh, we're so professional.
We're so professional here.
So we've evicted Dain from his own tournament.
And his own house.
And his own house. We now own his house. But,
We're the kings now. We're the autocrats, you know.
but we're going to keep bringing you good StarCraft. Awesome StarCraft.
This is true. We have awesome StarCraft coming up. Actually, we have. We're planning on doing Matt versus Savage.
Yeah, so we're actually in the semi-final now. Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief.
Matt versus Zain, not Matt versus Savage.
Matt versus You're right. Matt versus Zain. We're gonna do.
Yeah. So for all you Zain fans out there, we've got another Zain series coming up.
I'm a Zain fan. Are you a Zain fan?
I'm a big Zain fan.
A big Zain fan.
You could say I'm his number one fan.
Number one fan, yeah. Then why are you giving him a broken computer?
My PC ain't broken. It's just a really obscure bug that I don't understand.
Yeah, a really obscure bug actually. But I've actually heard of that before. I think Countess in the clan uses the same thing as Zain does because he does
middle mouse.
Yeah, middle mouse to like look around. Yeah. I know Koala does. A Zerg player in the clan uses it, and yeah, I think he's complained about that before as well. Like I think it was a known thing. We should explain what we're talking about basically. But when Zain was moving with the middle mouse button, it was like snapping it to the corner of the screen, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, the screen just jumps sometimes while you're scrolling. Like if you're quickly tapping and scrolling repeatedly, it will just move in a unpredictable way. Just like the screen jumps half a screen width to the side or something, almost like you let go of the button when you didn't.
Yeah,
it kind of released the input. It's super off-putting. I've had that for the last couple of years or something on my PC. Turns out it's not my mouse. I just thought I had a broken mouse. No, turns out it's actually just a bug. I'm going to assume it's a Windows bug or something. I don't know.
It's a confirmed thing. I know. Like lots of people have had it and stuff like that. Sort of thing. Forgive me, I'm just being nosy. I'm just looking at Dane's match history.
There's a lot of wins in there.
Well, look, if you check, like, who's he playing with every time?
2v2s.
Look who his teammate is. You know, I wonder who's doing all the heavy lifting in this team. Do you know what I mean?
It's Dane.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely Dane for sure. I mean, he's playing Terrans and Zergs. Like, come on, those are the worst races ever. It's a lot of. There are
a lot of dubs though.
There's a lot of dubs, yeah.
Right. Just trying to get the players in the party now. It looks like they're almost ready to play. Have they done vetoes?
I'm going to just pass the lead to Zain.
Yeah, they'll. That's the great thing about this tournament is the players are running it.
Yeah, we're just chilling, Macmillan.
Dane's organised this tournament. He's not even here.
Well, that's good organisation, right? You know, he's delegated, is what
he has delegated. Yeah. We got Volticus following an hour ago. I don't know if we shouted that one out, but
we did. This just in, Mars Bar's telling me that Jagannath is one of the shortest rush distances. Is it?
I think we got tricked because it's a really small map, but it looks really tall.
It's really long. I thought. I don't think it's that short of a rush distance. I thought it had a massive rush. It's also one of the biggest maps in the map pool, isn't it? I think. If someone knows, please tell me because I'll be interested. Because I always thought Jagannath was like the big bad don't rush map. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Oh, we're doing map pips now.
Yep, so they're doing the vetoes.
Second map, Jaguar. Jaganatha. Jagger. Jagex.
Supercharged.
Jag supercharged. Like, what could it be? You know, I need full names. Yeah, Jags XF. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, we should be getting into the first map shortly here.
That is some high quality H2O.
Then should we take another look at the bracket again quickly? I know the stream won't be able to see it, but I just want to, for my own sake.
For your own sake, the DAINvitational.
Yes, we've got Zain and Matt in the semi-finals, and meanwhile at the same time we've got Savage and Chelch playing off in that losers round match. One of those two will sadly be eliminated, and then the winner of that will go on to play Raza in the other losers round, which we will be casting after this Zain and Matt match.
I wonder who's going to play Raza. I mean, I wonder who would rather play Raza. Do you know what I mean? I wonder if it's like, I reckon Chelch might be able to take a game off of him. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, only because like he'll do some like Protoss bullshit build. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. This is racial bias coming.
100%, 100% racial bias. You know? Race bug. Or was it in Russian? You know, sometimes if the game's hosted by a Russian like party leader, it all comes up in Russian.
Really?
Yeah, so like the races come up in Russian, the names come up in Russian, all this stuff here comes up in Russian as well. Yeah, and I can't remember what it is for Terran, but
pesky Ruskies.
Yeah, pesky. Well, we have quite a few in the Drunken Outlaws actually. We've got a few little Russians. Yeah, cool. Shout out to all my Russian homies.
What is that white bit of text?
I don't know. It's just to do with the
some decal not loading in, isn't it?
basically, yeah, is what it is. It really annoys me. He doesn't use scroll wheel, and like I like to scroll, you know. I have to do it this way now.
The page up, page down is little home and yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, the really slow. Oh, look at that.
The tension, you know, builds as I zoom in and zoom out, kind of thing. You know, we can like really focus on this one little probe here.
This little guy, what's he gonna do?
What's he gonna? Oh, he's gonna mine it. Okay, and then he's going back.
He did mine it.
He's going back to it. He's going back to the thing.
Shall we shoot the players?
Nah, they know who they are, right? There's a Protoss here.
Yeah, there's a Zerg down there.
There's a Zerg here.
Fight.
Yeah, fight. Do Zerg and Protoss things, you know what I mean?
So I think...
Now that was interesting. For a second there, he was obviously going across there. I was like, is this going to be something really crazy? But no, he was just a little bit of a bad rally.
A lot of PvZ so far in this tournament. It's been done a lot of different ways.
I like how it's been hosted by a Protoss, you know, Dain, the autocratic leader of the DAINvitational. And I think, like, let's just check quickly. There is 1, 2, 3... 4 Protosses, you know, a majority Protoss, and we have what 1, 2. What's Dalton? Zerg? Yeah, we have 3 Zergs and 1 Terran. Like, you know, I think we know where Dane's interests lie. Basically,
yeah, sure,
I think we know what Dane wants to see. You know,
you chatting shit about my Protoss bias?
Absolutely,
yes, 100%. We're saying about how there's only Protosses in the tournament.
You're not here, so we can say whatever we want.
Should have seen it. Before last night, where I added 2 Zerg players in replacing 2 Protoss players.
Oh, so it was gonna be like 6 Protoss, yeah, and like 1 Terran, 1 Zerg.
Yes.
That would have been a much better tournament.
No, it wouldn't have. Please, no, it wouldn't have.
You did change the overlay, right? I wasn't paying attention. The scene, sorry, in OBS.
No, I didn't.
That's fine. They can all watch the tiny picture. Like, they don't need to see the game on full screen, do they?
We can like go through all of these things. Casting, there we go. That's perfect.
That's the one.
Look, as long as they saw some content, that's fine.
The game was at least on the screen, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah, at least it wasn't just us two sitting here, like talking into a camera. Do you know what I mean? Pretending like we know what we're doing. Did someone mention it in the Twitch chat where they like changed the overlay?
No. I was reading Koala in the chat mentioning about the middle mouse scroll bug, just confirming that it is a thing.
It is a thing, yeah. Koala does get it. How do you do you know how to? There we go. Best of 3. And then
it's Control Shift at the same time, and then Control 1 to set the score.
Shift is top, Control's bottom, isn't it? And then you can do it like that.
You can flip them, but I have no idea what the keyboard shortcut is for that, so I never bother.
Oh mate, I don't know either. Yeah, I just know the basics.
I mean, we're lucky this time. Zane's at the top, so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, true. I can just relax and enjoy myself.
Which will probably at some point commentate the game. So Zain has gone for the Stargate opener this time. I think starting off with that Void Ray, there are no Overlords nearby, or is there one in the black that I can't see?
That's not a full wall, is it there? That can't be.
No, there's got to be another.
There's got to be another building right?
going down.
Surely that can't be a full wall. Right?
I think the building will come later.
I'm gonna sit here and wait for this building to come down.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
We're not gonna see anything else there.
Okay, we can move the camera now.
Yeah, look, it's there. It's there. We saw it. It finally happened. Oh my god.
Well deduced.
Buildings are being built. Well, there's some weird like walls on this map, on some of these maps, isn't there? Where you can do like these funky walls where you don't have to wall off or anything like that.
Mm. So this Void Ray is gonna go and look for an Overlord to kill, but it's not gonna have a lot of luck. Is it going to find one? There
it will get one there, yeah.
Finally found one. The other one's running home as quick as an Overlord can scurry.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, obviously these guys are Grandmasters players, but I thought it was really good game knowledge there from Matt. No, it's going to get the... it might die. No, okay, it's got speed. It will get scared. I thought it was really good game knowledge by Matt there. So obviously you always have the Overlord there, right?
Mm.
But he must have known the timing for the Void Ray. So he saw what he needed to see, you know what I mean? He saw the wall go down and everything. And then he pulled the Overlord back, which is like a really, I don't know, just a really small thing that's going to pay off later, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just really like that like niche little timing he did there.
It was nice, yeah, only losing the one Overlord. I mean, there's not much you can really do to avoid that. The Oracle getting a little bit done. I think got 1 kill, didn't it? No kills.
No kills, wow.
It's because it was going for the ones in the gas. So
we need to have a serious word with this Oracle. I think we might have to give it the sack, you know? Like, it didn't get a kill. Or give it a citation. This is its first warning, you know? If this happens again, I think it's...
stern words.
Yeah, stern words.
Oracle.
We're going to have to get rid of it and put it somewhere else, you know? See what else it can do. How do I come off of camera?
Ooh, a glaive upgrade.
So this is different from Zain.
This is different. We haven't seen this before.
Obviously, we just saw him do like carry or void ray shenanigans off of 3 bases. This is also going to be off 3 bases, but is he still building drones? I feel like he's maybe cut the drone count. He's just going to do like an all-in. No, he's okay. Still building drones.
He's still building probes. Yeah.
I don't actually know what race do you play.
I'm a terrible progenist.
I was going to say a terrible terror in there for a second.
No. Although the alliteration would have been a lot nicer.
Yeah, it would have worked quite well.
So this is just an absolute crap ton of adepts coming across the map here, going to try and do some damage while he continues to tech up.
Matt actually has no idea this is coming. He hasn't scouted the main. He didn't know a Twilight Council went down. He sees it now. The adepts coming in.
Yeah, I mean, all that's here to defend is the queens. Although that was a good little block there with the Lings managing to stop them getting up into the main. There's just a lot of adepts.
There's just a lot of adepts here that do a lot of damage, and that's what they're going to do is more and more damage.
Is he going to cancel this trade? He could just stay in the main. Yeah, he's just going to stay in the main. Look, he's going to get so many kills here.
I think he kind of juked him out there.
Yeah, the queen turns around, so they assumed he'd go for the third. Not actually killed that many drones.
He's not killed that many drones. I feel like he's trading quite nicely here. He's cleaning up all of these Zerglings and stuff like that. Oh god, I need to be paying attention.
Yes, you are observing.
Yeah, yes I am observing. I can't just be looking at the stats.
Okay, we're starting to see some drones finally die. Obviously there's been a lot of lost mining time as well with these drones having to dance around the adepts. They're going back up into the main again. This is so annoying to the zone.
The multi-prong is lovely here. Look, he's just shading into every single mineral line. He's getting
the
so
kills
much
are
damage
racking
done.
up. 23
Yeah,
drones in there.
Really getting high up there now. And like again, the adepts are going to be able to shade away. Probably going to go into here. Good control by Matt. He's keeping his eye on the adepts here. And he's going to stop them from getting much more kills. Nice focus fire from Zain. Yeah, the adept pressure has been held. But at what cost? I mean,
the other thing as well is Zane's identified that obviously Matt was trying to get the Hydras out to deal with the Sky Toss and is already getting the Robo Bay down. He's looking to go into Disruptors, and I think that could be really good for him here.
Yeah, I think Disruptors are a great call. Versus either you get the Storms or you get the Disruptors, right? And I think he's going for the Disruptors. I'd like to know what his personal reason for getting the Disruptors is over Storms. You know, maybe he just prefers them or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's a nice decision there. He could be a bit greedy and maybe expand into another base. Not doing that. I wonder if he just wants to end the game on 3.
Oh, it's Colossi. That makes more sense with the Hydras.
Colossi also does the same job, like bonus versus light damage, right? And the good range.
Yep.
Will kill it. So he's not building anything else out of this Stargate, which is interesting. What's even meta at the moment?
Yeah, he literally just built 2 Oracles and a Void Ray, right?
Did he even build 2? I feel like he just built 1.
Is that the same Oracle?
Yeah, this is the same Oracle that's just got no... Oh, it's got 6 kills, fine, okay. We don't have to give it the sack now.
No, it's no longer getting the sack, it's actually considering the pay rise.
Oh, see, now that's quite interesting. Because Matt has scouted. He didn't see the robotics bay. He saw the robo bay.
Building something.
He's
not going to think he's building Immortals, is he?
Not Immortals,
did he
maybe
see
like
Chrono, though? That's the question.
I can't remember. He definitely saw the Chrono on this.
Yeah.
Maybe he thinks there's it could be Observers, it could be a Warp Prism or something like that coming out.
There's a lot of options that it could be, so he's not going to know for sure.
And that's the thing as well, is that Zain hasn't actually built any Observers. Like he's just gone straight across the map here with this Colossi attack. You know,
if he didn't know before, he knows now there are Colossi.
Yeah, now
he's a long way away from the Spire, let's just say.
A long way away from Spire. And I don't think he has a Roach Roar on either, which is going to help. These Hydras get melted. Ling Bane Hydra does not do well versus Colossus.
No, this is a pretty hard counter.
That's interesting. He decided to turn back. I guess maybe he just wanted to force the reaction out of Matt to stop him from droning up. You know.
I think also he felt like he didn't want to overextend too far on the creep, maybe.
That's a good point. That's a fair.
Without the Observer, so he's gone back and he's got the Observer now, so he can start clearing some creep, and he's going to come around the other side. The only problem is the 4th base is up at the top, so he's not going to be able to really kill anything.
Yeah, and he'll just have to try and get a fight here. I think if he wants to do any serious damage. Extended thermal launch just finishing now. He has the Observer.
That's a good time as well. And the Zealot charge is too far away. Nobody's got it.
No, I think he actually pulled back. I think it was really smart. Actually, I think he waited for the extended thermal lance, and he waited for the Observer to come out as well. He was like, I'm not going to commit here when I don't have an Observer.
This is looking like a really scary Protoss army for our Zerg. Doesn't really have anything to deal with it. He's just still building Zerglings and Banelings. Like, where's the answer coming from?
Well, what can you build? All right. I mean, you're supposed to take up to a Lurker Den, right? Which he is doing. But you're not going to build a lurker and lurker den when the Colossus are at your door, are you? Do you know what I mean? When they're like knocking at the door.
He's running out of time for sure.
Yeah, you can't just be like, hang on a minute, mate. Just let me sort some lurkers out.
And Zane's already looking ahead, right? Zane's looking at this and going, okay, great, you're going to tech into that, but I'm already building my fleet. I'm thinking about carriers. I'm thinking about the late game. But in the meantime, I'm going to try and kill you with this huge army.
Yeah, I think it's good, like, foresight from Zain, but I think really he's just going to win the army here, you know?
Yeah, he really shouldn't be there.
Win the army here. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
That's English.
Okay, yeah, that is English. I speak English. Nice force filth there from Zain. As we know, he is the king of the century, and you're seeing
Extended thermal is doing so much here. Insane.
so much damage, right? Like the Hydras couldn't even get anywhere near to the Colossus, and they were just getting poked at from over the force field. These lovely force fields, these lovely map editors here, and the Colossus Shield army doing lovely. GG is
That's
cool.
a really well played game by Zain there.
Yeah, that was.
Controlled it from start to
Yeah,
finish.
that was really well played. I have to admit that. That's like you saw like how good of a player Zain is there from start to finish. He did the adept. He did great harassment with the
Huge damage
adepts
because
as
it
well.
seemed like the adepts weren't doing any damage, right? Like it was
Yeah.
for the vast majority of the time there were no drones dying. There was very little else happening, and then all of a sudden the kills just racked up and up and up.
Yeah, like so he Matt held him at the top of the ladder, right, with the lings and the queens, and we were like, oh, is this gonna work? And then he broke through, but like he was,
He
and like
split them.
he split them,
really
but
did
he
the
shaded
damage.
into the third. The queens went to the third, and he was like, no, I don't need to do that anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he split them, and he like the kills just started racking up. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah, really well played from Zain there. Really, really impressed. Really happy about that from him.
Awesome stuff. So we're going to jump in on game 2. It's going to be on Jagannathil, which we've been reliably informed is one of the shortest rushes.
Do you know what? I'm just going to check the Twitch chat to see if Marsbar has replied to me, because I'm positive that this is one of the longest maps in the map pool, and this can't be like, you know, it can't be.
No. Let's recenter the microphone now that we've got another co-caster in the room.
I'm sipping on my tea and I'll be chipping in my 2 cents whenever I can.
So Matt, a big fan of the good luck. Doesn't like the good luck have fun. I've casted many of his games now today, and he just does the good luck, you know?
Well, he's obviously really busy in the early game, pressing S and D repeatedly, so like he hasn't got enough time to type the other 2 characters, right?
Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe it's some sort of like meta game, you know? Maybe he doesn't have any fun in his life. Maybe he's just a straight businessman, you know?
He's only there for the luck.
He's lawful good.
I know that Zerg players are very serious folk, you know. Every Zerg player I've met has always been a very serious individual. You know, we can work this out for our own. So like, look, what's the rush distance? You come through here.
I'm just seeing the
You have to
equations come out of your head.
you have to
The numbers
Carry the 4.
Come through here, go there.
You get a 30% speed increase from the acceleration zone. This cuts down the travel time by 2%, you know.
Brackets before exponents.
Yeah, logical operators, functions, sets, topology. Just throwing out math terms now that I know. I'm trying to sound smart.
Mission accomplished, mate.
Well,
I don't know any of those words.
Nice. I have achieved intelligence, intellect. Am smart.
You probably watch Rick and Morty.
I do.
Yeah.
Obviously.
A high IQ gentleman such as
Exactly, right? I would know all about Rick and Morty, you know, which is good. Are we getting an update from Twitch chat?
No, I'm just going to ask you again. Did we change the overlay?
No, we did not change the overlay.
Every time. I'm just sitting here in the back of my mind,
no,
not
we
wanting
didn't
to say
change
it out
the
loud.
I want to say you had 1 job, but you actually had like 5 jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I had one job just to change the overlay, you know. Which is...
And also cast, and also be
Can
funny.
also observe.
Can we just talk about how useful this came in?
It's pretty good, yeah.
The fighting techniques and the third
It's big. It's a big deal.
The sus, like how much more enjoyable it's made the experience, you know, where you
Much
can
more
just
chill. We can
sit
just-
and chill, and just enjoy yourself. Like people underestimate the power of the book on the sofa, you know, for video gaming. It's a great little tool you can have.
Huge technique.
Huge technique, big brain,
Huge.
patented Suskin maneuver, you know.
Well, there's some other tournament going on right now, apparently. but,
Some boring
some middle thing.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
No one cares about that. Yeah, you know.
That was like time versus like who even is time? No one's heard of time.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if I want to see the real Protoss player, show me Zain.
Yeah, he's the realist.
Show me Zain. I shall show you Zain.
He's beautiful.
Okay, and his beautiful.
He's a
Protoss
beautiful,
ways.
little, powerful man.
Beautiful Protoss power right there. Look at that. Look at the chrono. Poor.
That chrono is pretty powerful, man.
Pretty powerful. By the way, I know you said that who knows time, but you know, I actually know a couple of his builds. I hate to say it, sorry. I learned a few of his builds, you know? He had a few good little TVZ builds. I do know who he is. Sadly.
Yeah, but how many Zain builds do you know? All of them, right?
All my builds are Zain.
All my
All
builds
of
are
the
Zain builds,
builds.
yeah.
Everyone.
Well, you know,
When you're playing Protoss.
yeah, I was about to say, like, all my builds are Razza builds, you know what I mean? Like, ooh,
Well, we might get to see a bit more Razor in a bit.
Oh, that was almost a really nice eBay block.
I wonder if that was intentional, because he, like, delayed it.
100%, 100% it was. Like, that was a reactionary one.
I don't think they have... Okay, they got 2 drone kills. A lot less than last game, that's for sure.
I'm starting to see Protoss commit with that 2 Adept poke a lot more often than I used to, and I think it's kind of cool. You usually get a couple of drones, and you definitely get a scout.
I think if you focus fire it, right, and you actually, like, micro it properly, you can guarantee, like, at least 2 probe kills or drone kills, whatever.
I think it's also nice if there's Zerg players who rely on like builds and timings. That's going to throw their timings off a bit. So I think anything to just throw them off a little bit can be a good idea.
Well, do we know if Matt's that kind of player?
I mean, Matt is so good that I don't think that is irrelevant for him.
Yeah,
I don't think doing that kind of thing. I think I might do that because the Zergs I play on ladder might sort of be a little bit doing things for memorization. But Matt is like a master pianist
Of the Zerg shenanigans.
Yeah, he can make stuff up. Like he's good enough that it's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. So he's done 2 oracles here. He's not gone for the void ray. He's going for 3 oracles. Zain, are you going to meme on us? Are you going to do some sort of meme build? Is this going to be like Oracle Zealot or something like that?
He likes doing this a lot. This is kind of like a standard Protoss thing where you go for like
He did this in
three
DreamHack,
or
right?
4 adepts. Yeah, you get like a swell of adepts and oracles, and you hit with that instead of the glaives attack. And it's a bit safer, I think, than doing things with like pure glaives because you get those oracles which make you safe against everything.
Can they not go through there? That little gap?
Well, we're about to find out. I think he put that pylon down just to stop them going through the gap that the Adept was shading out of.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they would have got through if the cybernetics had died.
I tell you what, those oracles did a really good job of cleaning up the links.
Yeah.
They do enjoy killing.
All the Lings really did there was
Killing
die
Lings.
and force out some Oracle energy. Like, that's about it.
I mean, you'll take that trade, right? 9 out of 10 times as the Protoss player.
Yeah. I think if the Lings had just gotten them to turn on, if they had just turned on the Oracles and then ran away and not died, that would have been a bit unfortunate. But Zain got the value.
And the Adepts are back again to do some damage.
Are we going to see that massive Zain micro that we saw before?
Big
Following
range.
shades into the main. They're going to flash up here. Good spot here. You're going to trade well with the Lings, but it's not really what you wanted, is it? You wanted to kill the drone.
Yeah, no, just going to trade out with the Lings this time. But I mean, it was only a much smaller committal into Adepts this time.
Yeah, it wasn't like a big like glaive adept thing. Oh, okay, we're seeing the.
It's a shame the Oracles didn't swing in at the same time somewhere. I think that could have been annoying.
Yeah, it's really interesting choice for Matt to go for the Spire. I guess he sees that Zain has gone for a single Stargate and hasn't made any Void Rays or Oracle or Phoenix. So it's a little more likely that he'll be able to do something with the Muta switch here. And if he's able to deny the scouting, that can put the Protoss in a really, really bad spot. If you just pop out with 10, 15 mutas all of a sudden out of nowhere, you're just dead.
I think we have some turncoats in this Protoss army. Okay. I saw this adept here
Yeah?
and this sentry.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm pretty sure I witnessed them attacking Protoss buildings.
No.
Yeah.
That's
I'm pretty
sickening.
sure I saw it. I mean, we have a traitor in our midst.
We're
What
going to
would,
name
what would
that
Tussadel
adept.
say about this?
That adept's new name is Benedict Cumberpatch.
I'm watching you, Benedict.
He's got 6 kills. Like, he's doing alright.
One of those is a pylon.
Watching a moment. The Lings are going to run by, and he's
Not
gonna
even
stand-
going to shoot.
He's going to stand to the side.
Oh, sometimes when the adept is in like slightly a bad spot and he gets wiggled out of the way by the Lings, that's actually intentional. That adept is a traitor, and they actually are like they sidestep. They're like, when like a prison guard like lets someone into their
Yeah.
cells, they're like, I don't see it. That's what he does. He's
Yeah.
like, go in, you have 5 minutes.
He just looks the other way, basically.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, "Oh, look, the cell is open," and I'm, "Oh, look, something's happening out the window. What's going on?"
His Lings are going to get a whole lot of nothing done.
I love that nice wall at the top of that ramp. That's like underrated. Every Protoss walls off their natural, but you don't see this enough with just a huge wall on the third base, and that just creates such a more defensible layout of bases.
Zealot's coming over here now, getting some drone kill. Again, I'm not really sure what the... I guess it's just a harass, right? Just to put pressure on and to keep the Zerg
It
player
just
on his
keeps the
side.
Zerg player busy, yeah. This is annoying to deal with.
It would trade nicely with the probes and the Zealot and the Zerglings, right? I don't know why you'd right-click the hatchery there. I guess because you've got bigger fish to fry, right? You don't want to waste your time trying to micro all these guys.
Yeah, I mean, like,
around.
the hatchery did go down to 75%. Like,
Yeah, true. Maybe if you did.
if there had been fewer units, the units hadn't responded that quickly, you probably would have killed him. With that many probes.
And crucially, now Zain does know that it's muted, so he's started his Phoenix switch. There's not going to be a complete surprise when 10 mutas fly into his base. He's going to have a couple of Phoenix and a shield battery. With that cannon finishing up, that should be just about
Oh,
enough.
that Phoenix is dead.
Unless he flies right into it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
he
that's good
saves it.
kiting, good kiting. Very nice.
Yeah, and I think Matt wasn't looking right at that second, right? He was probably move commanding as well, so it wasn't as big of a deal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Come on now, Zane's got the micro. Zane's got the techers. He knows what he's doing.
There are a good number of cannons, and that one's got a shield battery behind it as well, which is nice to see.
Yeah, this looks really bad for Matt. He's kind of just suiciding using him, but I guess he's focused on this Roach Ravager.
Which, to be fair, might be able to clean up this Archon mess here. There's only 4 Archons here. That's not a great amount of Archons. There's a little bit
No
of
Warp
micro.
Prism micro either, which is a shame to see.
Another Archon go down. We finally see a little bit of Warp Prism micro going on. Are we going to see a lift? What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is the really frustrating part about playing as mutas. You get ready for the mutas, but then there's still, a huge Roach Ravager ball. You haven't been making immortals, because why would you?
Because, yeah, you saw mutas, you saw a Spire, like... Ooh, I think this could be a tough situation for my boy, Zain?
Yeah,
Zain.
the army supply advantage for the Zerg is looking pretty strong, and this could be our first series that isn't a clean sweep.
More roaches coming on the way as well, getting rallied across the map. I respect the enthusiasm that Zain is showing us here.
Yeah, 5 times an army supply advantage now for our Zerg player. Yes, Zain might be able to just barely hold this up, but there is going to be Zerg reinforcements any minute now. Where's the rest of that 92 army supply?
Where is the rest of that 92 army supply? It's a good question. I can't actually find it.
Is there still like a big ball of mutas somewhere that we can't see?
Is
Or is
that-
it all just roaches? It's just
That
roaches.
can't be 92 supply of roaches, can it?
Well, they're like 20 supply each or something, aren't they? So
That can't be it. There's got to be some-
30 lings in production as well, maybe?
I mean, I must be the link here. Oh god, I've messed up all the keys here.
just open every single
Yeah,
screen
just
possibly
every
can.
overlay possible.
No, you need to press more buttons.
Okay,
Yeah.
more buttons.
Get your APM up, dude. Yeah, that's all we needed.
Just pressing all
GG and 1-1 now.
There's a
Wow,
one-to-one.
Wow.
1-1. I'm gonna hand this over to you just for a second because I'm
Yeah,
a bit
sure.
cold and I'm gonna get my jumper.
Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. I will, in the meantime, quickly switch over to the...
yeah.
Chat is the top one. It's usually good if it's got both. Yeah.
Hey, there we go. And then in the meantime, we'll wait for the players to set up game number 3.
So game number 1, I wasn't really here for. I was taking a coffee break, but
Game number 1 was Glaive's Adepts, like, I don't know, 16, however many Adepts,
Yeah.
went in, did seemingly not a lot of damage, split between 3 bases, and then out of nowhere they managed to get 23 drone kills. He
And it's like,
then
alright.
transitioned into
he went into Colossus, like
Colossus, yeah, and then was taking into Carriers,
horrible
but the game was over.
I think that's just it. Is Zayn needs to do something that puts him in the driver's seat. I know he always does, right? The Oracle Adept thing. I've never been convinced that was super strong. I know it's been standard for a while, but I want to see more glaives. I want to see void rays.
Yep,
I can
this is
obviously
going
get a
very
few.
well. Yeah, it is alright.
It's up to you if you don't fancy it. Yeah,
No,
I
I'll pass. Oop,
can do the observing.
I've already destroyed the camera on this one.
I'll get the next
Are we
one.
on the? Yeah, we are.
We're on the right setting. Yeah, I did remember that at least.
Oh, do you know what the best thing about this map is? Is that it's actually one of the prettiest maps on the map.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, you can do the scores.
Yeah. So.
I want to zoom in
1-1.
on these fish here, but I can't because Dane has the keyboard. You know,
There you go.
he's too busy being official.
Tell me more about these fish.
They're just very pretty, right? I mean, look at these little fish.
Yeah,
Are they
some
not just the
adorable
prettiest
little
little things
fishies.
you've ever seen, right? Like, how cute are they?
They're space fish.
Space fish, right? You know, and they're just like going in and out and like this, that, and look, you got these like nice purples and stuff, and like orange and yellows.
Beautiful.
I don't know what the glowing effect is about though. Like, you see it's glowing. Like, why is it glowing? Like,
Yeah, those are. I think all of those things are just throbbing and veiny
Go
natural
on.
life forms.
Yeah,
Throbbing, veiny, natural life forms. Thank you very much. I needed that description.
and they've
in
got
my
glowing
life.
tips.
With
Okay.
glowing tips.
With
Yeah.
glowing white tips, you know. That cute. And then also, what's this like? You see
There's
this?
some swimmers.
It's like a current almost, you know. Can you feel like there's a current under the water?
Looks like it's like gas or something. Like it's like we're underwater, but those are like gas vents or something. Like,
Yeah, it could be like hot air escaping or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It's a volcanic reef.
So is this a volcanic island then? Ocean? Whatever we're in?
I wonder how many scientists Blizzard hired to help them design the intricate and scientifically accurate details of this reef.
100%. You know they only had the best men.
Yeah,
Top men.
absolutely.
Okay.
That's why Blizzard doesn't support StarCraft anymore. They blew their budget on hiring marine biologists.
they couldn't keep affording all this map production, you know? It was becoming way too expensive to support the scene. Millions of pounds spent on building big throbbing maps. Wait, what?
Throbbing veins.
I see
That
what,
is a throbbing vein.
I see what you mean now, yeah.
Yeah.
That is like...
That's unfortunate.
That is pretty graphic.
Once
I mean,
you see it,
yeah, you can't like unsee it, right? You know? You can't do it. But look, see, they're everywhere, these little fish, right? I love this map so much. They're just always chilling, they're swimming in and out, being free, being fish.
What is going on inside that building?
You got the shark back
Water
there.
inside it, but we're underwater. I don't know, man.
That's a very good point, actually. That's a very, very good point.
Those fish don't seem to care. They just
Yeah,
chilling.
just chilling, having fun. Everything's pretty standard otherwise.
Yeah, it's a Stargate. The Zerg's expanded a lot.
In the,
It's StarCraft.
yeah, in the actual game of StarCraft, you know, pretty much Zerg things are going on.
Want to do a shout out to a couple of viewers I have back in Canada, Leaf, Freya, and Eris, my friend's kids. They're between the ages. Oh, they're really young. They're like maybe 2 to 4 years old,
Wow.
and they're watching StarCraft with their mom and dad. They're getting it early.
They know what's
They're getting it early. They know what's
Yeah.
going on. So shout out to Freya, Leaf, and Eris. You guys are amazing.
Big shout out Freya, Leaf, and Harris. Hope you're enjoying the games and learning how cool StarCraft can be. It's definitely the coolest game. I think maybe we should cut back on
the fish talk.
the fish talk now.
yeah, so I was gonna say she messaged me like, by the way, we're watching, and I was like, oh, I'm glad we were talking about
Fish.
Fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I know we have some children watching, we'll be a bit more sensible. I will apologise for my language as well because I can't help it, but I just tend to swear a lot.
Don't worry too much. Okay? I'm sure they're grown ups by now. You know,
Now, is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is,
by,
they grow up fast
by
these
4,
days.
yeah.
is
Yeah,
this
they grow up fast.
is this a standard thing?
What, the spore?
Yeah, or is that just a reactionary thing? Like, do you just automatically put a spore in each mineral line every game in a ZVP, or
I
no?
think if you have any suspicion that it's any kind of tech, you would do. If you saw Chronowing Glaives, you might not.
You
Everything else, you probably would do.
Well, it's funny. I don't think he's actually seen anything. It's just a bit of a blind guess. I mean, it's a good guess, right? Because he has the oracles. and
Well,
he's-
all he
It's
would have
another
needed to
triple oracle again.
all he would have needed to see was a delayed warp gate to know it's Stargate, right? And then you drop the spore.
fine, yeah. And it's funny. At his level, he would know that. Like, he'd be able to recognise that very clearly. The delay of the warp gate sort of thing. I just, I love how pretty.
We see the twilight coming down again.
Warp gate. Yeah, sorry.
The glaives
Actual StarCraft.
again.
Stop looking at building, Suskin.
Yeah, so Stargate before Twilight is quite interesting. I can't off the top of my head think of a build that uses that, but going for the double
Was
oracle.
this not the same build order as Game 1? I could be wrong.
Did he open Stargate Game 1 and then Glaives?
Yeah.
He did. I'm just trying to think now if he did open Stargate.
He definitely had a Stargate. I just don't know which order they went down in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well. I don't know. I feel like maybe it might have been Twilight Council first, and then he got the Stargate.
Okay.
Honestly,
yeah.
I can't remember though. Yeah, I'm not sure.
We might have been chatting rubbish for
Yeah,
too long at the start that I
basically,
came to
right,
notice
like-
exactly what was going on.
And they all do start to blow into one.
Yeah,
He's
it's
al-
just charging the robo, so yeah. It's keeping these 3 oracles around to be annoying.
He goes for the 3 oracles again. He definitely didn't do that in game 1. He only built the 1 in game 1. I remember. Now he seems to be building 3. I mean, they do a good job of keeping these Zerglings away, but I just don't know. I just feel like they get a bit. I feel like with oracles, you either have 2 or you have 200. You know what I mean? You either have like a crazy amount of them that do loads of like really quick burst damage, or you just have 2 that you use just to be annoying with. Like he's being here. Like, I'm gonna have to ask him about this when he comes downstairs after this series. Like, why 3? What is it about 3 oracles that you like so much?
I can give a comment. So 3 oracles. You can leave 1 at home, and then you can harass with 2. Because 1 at home to save the lings against the 3rd, right? You need to keep 1 for your 3rd.
Is this legit? Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 can one-shot drones.
Yeah, because I know 2 can one-shot drones, right? That's why you build
But the
2.
3rd to save your 3rd.
To save your 1st. Fair enough. But then again, look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but these boys.
I think at this point he doesn't care about defending the 3rd anymore, right? He's got enough at home that he doesn't need the oracle there. Is that?
Yeah,
Probably
I mean, I'm saying a possible reason, but otherwise you just get 3 because 3 is cool, and even if you lose 1, you can still.
You can never have too many oracles.
They do say that 3 is the magic number, you know. Okay. Just saying. Maybe Zane's onto something that we don't know. Maybe that's why Zane's Grandmaster and we're not, because he builds 3 oracles and we keep building 2. Could be possible. Could be wholly possible. Okay. I just love this map. Look how pretty it is. Oh my god.
And this is one where when the units die, they float to the sky, right?
Yeah, it's got the crazy atmosphere. So hopefully we're going to see that now.
How many atmospheres does it have?
A few.
A few. A handful of atmospheres.
A handful of atmospheres.
Okay.
It's a catchy name for a map.
A handful of atmospheres, Ellie, please.
What do you think's the best name for a map?
I like Daybreak.
No, it's got to be Ohana.
What does it mean?
Because it means family.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Ohana.
What does it mean?
Family.
Does it mean family?
Are you sure?
Ohana means family.
Someone tell me what
Ohana means
Ohana
family.
means in the chat.
I think Battle of the Broadwalk is my favourite.
Of the Broadwalk.
Yeah, because that's a sick. Like, how cool is that for a name? Battle of the Broadwalk, right? Like, that sounds like some shit's going. Oh, pardon my French. Is going down on this map, you know.
You see,
Ooh.
the attack got deflected really quickly, and ooh, swarm hosts. You say there's already 4 on the map. There's 6 more on the way. No, there's 6 on. There's going to be 12. That's a lot of swarm hosts
That's
to
a
deal
lot
with.
of swarm hosts. Yeah, you know, you don't really see them that much.
What does Zain have to deal with this? He has
Nothing.
Oh, he's building a robo bay. Might be a little bit late for that.
I mean, what do you need? You need Colossus, right, to deal with. You need Colossus and Disruptors, right? I think.
Yeah.
Maybe Phoenix.
Does he? He doesn't have Storm either, does he? Not. I don't know what he can really use here.
Yeah, Storm's another good one that can deal with the Disruptors. Oh god, my mouse is going crazy. oh, just about to say that. How unlucky is that timing for a Matt? If he was like 2 seconds earlier, he would have caught these Zealots that were running down from the natural.
I'm not going to get too much done though. He's got enough at home. The spine crawlers and the roaches and other things to come back.
Oh, and now we see the first wave of swarm hosts being sent into the main. You know, I think somewhere in the world right now, Marsbar is smiling. You know, I know Marsbar loves his swarm hosts and loves his swarm host builds. So I just think somewhere he's smiling. If Marsbar, if you're out there, let me know if you're smiling, okay? And also let me know if Jagannath is the longest map in the map for, because I need to know.
So Zane's trying to get these disruptors out, but it might be a little bit late. He's in a rough position.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose this 4th place for sure. The Banelings as well. Why am I seeing a lot of smoke Banelings there? Oh, nice 4th move there. It's going to be something. I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop the roaches from killing him. Is this a death going to shade in? Oh, I'd love to see it.
I think it is.
Bang.
Imagine if he had blown up all those things.
Yeah, I was going to say, that would have been the most 1 million IQ play, right? If it had shaded in on top of the Banelings.
And they'd all been like on attack move somehow.
Yeah, and they all
exploded.
just jumped on the shade. Like, that would have been the most brilliant play ever. I might go run upstairs screaming to see
Yeah,
that.
that would be pretty wild.
It's just like, how did you do that?
Well, Storm hosts are just being destroyed by a void ray for some reason.
Yeah, but like, the funny thing is, the almost aren't even a problem at this point. They're just,
Yeah,
like,
this is a lot of roach.
yeah, they're just another evil on top of it. You know, I think the roach timing is doing very, very well. The timing attacks seem to be doing good for all of us.
And it's the same thing with mutas. If you make so many changes in the build so that you can deal with the mutas or the swarm hosts, and then all of a sudden 20 roaches and ravagers show up, and you're like, well, I need also a whole army to deal with it.
Yeah, I need a whole lot of like zealots and immortals when I've just built stalkers and colossus or whatever like that.
Yeah, he's still trying to get those disruptors out. Actually, I haven't seen any of the ones he has built. He has built about 3 of them.
I saw one.
No
I feel
idea
like.
where they've all
I feel
gone.
like I
They probably just
saw
all
one
died.
doing something.
I think these are great games to show why Double Stargate is so meta right now. Because if you open 2 Stargates with a bunch of Void Rays,
This doesn't happen.
I'm not saying you can't die to stuff like this, but you've got the 2 Stargates for the Mutas, you can clear out the Overlords for the Swarm Hosts, and you always have something that kills roaches.
He did, he did alright to survive that attack. I thought he was in a lot worse position than he was. He's only on 59 workers. The Ling run by here is going to get into the main. Luckily, he has lots of... Pardon me. Luckily, he has lots of cannons and shield batteries everywhere. A little Dolty-pronged
attack.
Dolty-pronged attack going down here. We see the Ling Roach split into 2 groups. Do you know, I'd love to see what Matt's hotkeys are, but I can't because we're on the different overlay, aren't we?
I'll send you the replays after.
Thank you. Definitely send me the ones of Razza so I can steal all his builds.
We'll definitely do a replay pack as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That'd be cool.
Do a replay pack and then just charge like an absorbent amount of money for like one really stupid replay. Like go through and find like the worst game in the series, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe just like someone loses to a Ling Club where they forgot to walk in the Zealot and be like, you want the replay for £100.
Oh, they're overcharged. Shield battery just got unpowered. That's pretty upsetting to see.
You hate to see it happen.
I like how it still has its overcharge though, as if it's like...
The overcharge is powered separately.
Yeah, the overcharge comes from the...
Comes from the Nexus, right? So.
Yeah, true. Doesn't it get power if it's in a certain range of the Nexus, or do they get rid of that?
Nexuses don't give power, certainly.
The reason why you're confused is because Nexuses give fast warp-ins to pylons there.
Fine, yeah.
And you can overcharge as long as the Nexus is there.
Yeah, fine. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting confused. They don't give power. They just give you like a couple of nice little bonuses.
That's right.
Which is nice. We've got 1-1 finish, 2-2 on the way, 12 Hydras, and a Spire going down. Matt's just like trying to get all the techs, you know what I mean? And an infestation pit. He's like, I want all the techs. I want everything. I want a multi-ethnic army, you know? I want air units, ground units, tanky units, strong units, big units, small units. This reminds me of the Legacy of the Semash show for some reason. The Zealots standing around on the creek.
Last stand, trying not to die, yeah. And that was a nice little run by from Zain. It bought him some presents on the map, so he was able to go and take that watchtower. But now Matt's army is closing in on him, and he's going to completely surround it. And when this army gets surrounded, it's a lot more difficult. Yeah.
Zain has slowly been building up a decent army here. I mean, it's better than what he was defending with before, I'll tell you that much.
It's a lot of Archons, but like Archons aren't really that good versus Roaches. They're good versus the Ravagers, but not just against Roach. And this is a predominantly... no, I say that. It's more Hydra Ravager. And still, I'm not like a big fan of this like Archon clump. I feel like it needs support with it as well. Really effective.
Lack of zealots or some sort of buffer, isn't it?
Nice bit of micro there from my man.
As long as Matt fights Zane's army out in the open, I don't think he can possibly lose the fight.
Yeah.
But if they fight in a choke point, so Zayn needs to abuse the fact that he's sort of fighting in choke points, and he might be able to survive a lot longer. But it's just taking that 4th base is going to be so hard.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Matt's doing a great job of denying the 4th base. It's kind of like, I feel like Matt's getting revenge for, was it Razza, who was denying him his 4th base in that series, you know what I mean? And now Matt's like, oh, I'm going to take my anger out on you, Zayn. Like, oh, you're not going to be I wasn't allowed to build a 4th base, you're not going to be allowed to build a 4th base. You're in trouble. Oh, there's a little run by going on down here again.
Yeah, Zayn needs to be trying stuff like this over and over again. He needs to do something to leverage the map control back, but Matt is just not having any of it.
And just buy time, right? Like, he's so far behind in supply, he just needs to buy time until he can build an army again. Oh, we're going to see
trap here,
big
but
stasis. Oh, too late. That's awful. This is going to easily cleaned up by the main Protoss army. I'm amazed. Like, Matt, just go kill him. Look.
The thing that Zayn has going for him right now is that his army is very high tech, and Matt's army is very not. There's a Great Aspire on the way for Matt, which would allow him to trade really well against this very not great anti-Brood Lord army. But now Zayn is, getting to the point where his army is contendable, and he doesn't have to worry as much about being caught up in the open.
Yeah, it's getting a lot stronger. With the destruction now, you're looking at fire. Oh my god, the Baneling rolling into the Archons there. Revolting to see all that explosion there. I think Matt finally got the fight he wanted, maybe, out in the open where he could surround the Protoss army. and kind of pick it off a little bit at a time. It seems to have been a well trade there. God, Zain just don't quit, does he?
That's good to see.
It's just all he does is keeps warping in zealots and sending them down there.
The army supplies have actually evened up quite a bit after that fight, but obviously Matt's sitting on a lot more money than Zain is, having a better economy this whole time, going up to 6 bases now. So you'd expect him to remax pretty shortly.
Yeah, and the Corruptors are on the way, and the Greater Spire's finished, so that means that Matt is just going to be limited by a little bit of time and
Waiting
gas.
for those Broodlords, isn't he?
And it's not that if the Broodlords come out, it's an unwinnable situation for Zain. He can play multitasking, he could have a slightly faster army, but Zain's army is very disruptor-based. And that's how he's trading against these things. He doesn't have a lot of Blink Stalkers, he doesn't have a lot of Stargate units, and so I think it's going to have to be a lot of maybe a semi-base race almost to just buy time to get something up to deal with those Broodlords.
Yeah, I just think the longer this game's going on, the harder it's going to get for Zain. And even the opportunity of a base race as a chance to win isn't going to be the best, I think. If Zain wants to win this, he needs to do something now. Something decisive now. He's getting some kills with the Oracles, which is nice. We're seeing these pay off. I mean, fair dues to him. He built these at the start of the game, and he's really got his money's worth now with 13 kills, 12 kills, and
if they go back
kills.
enough times, they might actually kill that base one day.
They might, yeah, it's true.
It might take another 20 minutes, but...
The Oracles can dream, you know?
Well, he's seen the Broodlords that are coming his way. There's actually nothing that can stop that one Phoenix.
Oh,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
one Corruptor as well.
Oh, he's killed one Broodlord already. Leading out a lot of Stalkers to do it though, and these Disruptors aren't really doing anything.
Yeah, and Matt very nicely pulling all of his army back so he doesn't die to the Disruptors. He knows there's not really a way to close the distance under these Broodlords. All his ground army needs to do is zone out Zain's army if they do push in. It's brutal.
Brutal indeed. It's going to be the slow, brood march of death. As they send wave and wave of brooding again and again over these brave Protoss souls.
A couple of Tempests coming up for Zain, you can make them 2 at a time, which is going to help a little bit against this, but this base is almost as well.
I don't think Zain is long for this game either, to be fair. He's doing an excellent job. The Dark Templar maybe can save him. No, GG is called and Matt takes game number 2.
Goes up 2-1 in the series.
Goes 2-1 in the series. He's bringing it back. Maybe we had it on the wrong side of who we thought was going to win, you know?
Yeah, that was really scary from Matt, I gotta tell you. As a Protoss player, I'm looking at that and I'm going, I have no idea what Zain could have done differently. Just seems like he's doing everything he can to do a little bit of pressure while playing safe, and Matt is just figuring out a timing that will just really make it difficult for him every time. There was a couple of mistakes there for sure, like maybe a couple times where Zerglings got into the main of Zain where he wouldn't have wanted to, but...
Yeah, I think at the start, a few Ling run-bys really shook Zain up there and kind of took him out of his comfort zone. I think it's quite interesting to see Matt play, where he's kind of playing very different to how like Savage approach was to the game. That could be an MMR thing, but Matt's obviously saying like, right, I'm going to get to 4 bases, I'm going to get to like 60, 70 drones, and then I'm going to start doing like all these, you know, like roach stuff. I'm going to start doing like Ling run-bys. I'm going to build swarm hosts and harass you that way. Whereas Savage was very much more gung-ho in that, like, I'm going to get to 50 drones and I'm going to get to 50 drones and then I'm going to, you know, try and kill you with like a big queen push. Whereas I feel like Matt's playing a bit more reactively, whereas Savage was trying to force the issue a bit more.
Yeah, I think Matt's probably more comfortable playing a long game against Zain for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas Savage was probably thinking, you know, my best bet is probably to just go in.
Yeah, my best bet is to force the issue and try and do something about that. You know what? We're just gonna follow.
Did you change the scene as well?
This guy.
Sorry.
No, you're much better at this than me.
You got it.
Okay, much better. At this
Sorry,
than
when
me.
I say overlay,
Okay.
I mean scene. I just keep forgetting the word for it. And I keep saying
We
overlay.
will learn by the end of the day.
But then you
okay?
remembered the score, so that's fine. Then we put
Yes.
the score.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because you looked at the keyboard. You looked down. I was like, "You want me to do the
I was
score?"
trying to look at
Fine.
alt tab. I was like,
Yeah. We need to hold up like little cue cards. I'll have like little notes that we can pass along,
yeah,
sort of thing, to see what's
It's a
happening.
secret language, secret streamer language.
Hints. The Overlord is out means that we are we're on the wrong display.
I'll just blink at you.
Oh, we could code
Blink
it with
as like
Starcraft
as
things.
crazy as you can. Yeah, just
He's
What's-
going for a
what's
4
that?
gate means mute the micro and the house is on fire.
Mute the micro, the mouth. I can't even speak. I've done so much casting. Yeah, words, mouth, words. So there is some sort of other tournament going on. It seems. I'm not sure what it is though. I've got no interest in it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We've got the British tournament right here.
Yeah, we've got this the only one.
Yeah, we've got the British Cyril.
British Cyril. The British SOS.
Yeah.
Who is Zane's favourite Pro Tours player? Is it SOS?
It was Rain. For a long time.
Showtime.
It was Rain.
Showtime, I would say now. In terms of Europe, for sure.
His favourite players are generally Korean.
I feel like he's a big Trap fan. I hear him talk a lot about Trap, and like when Trap plays, I feel like he gets quite hyped
as well.
He does like stats, yeah. We were speaking about stats on the train up here.
Whenever I ask him about a parting build, he's like, "Don't do that," and I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "Because that only works for parting."
Parting is the only
Yeah.
person who can do this. Do
Yeah.
not even think about it.
If you're going to be one of those like parting protosses, you have to like devote your life to the school of parting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like everything you've done since you were bronze was like try and play like parting. I know like Loblix is like a massive parting fan, and when you watch him play, sometimes he would do those like crazy like mass Blink Stalker builds where he's like, I'm just gonna win the game with Blink Stalkers.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's like you don't need to make the game this hard, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can build other units.
Okay, so we've had 2.5 minutes of the game and nothing out of the ordinary has happened.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed that Overlord's little journey. We went on
That
a
was
whole
really
little journey with him.
exciting. The whole length of the map.
The thing that upset me is that he hasn't even gotten to the point properly. Do you know what I mean?
I think
Like
it's
that's
intentional. He wants to
safe
see
spot.
more, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
I like the Goodfellas continuous shot over the Overlord the whole time. It's very
Oh,
it's
the
very
long,
artistic.
the long drag. Yeah, thank you very much for my.
Yeah, he goes through the whole map and shows you all the features of the map while you focus on his perspective.
Yeah, I just do this, the whole time. I'm just like rotating around him. What is it? Delete is that way. Yeah, fine.
I start to think about what's the Overlord thinking as he is scouting around. Like, I mean, I know they're all a hive mind, right? So they don't. I don't know. Do you think I guess they don't have their own thoughts.
Right now, he's thinking, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh
Ow,
fuck,
that burns.
ow,
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 that
ow,
burns.
Oh, I just pooped out my intestines.
Yeah. Which is actually quite interesting. It's a good point. Like for the Void Ray, that should not be your death animation, right? I'd imagine you'd like burst into flames
Yeah,
or
you
something.
should like.
He
yeah,
does
turn
turn
to dust.
black, so maybe
He
it's
goes
just like
black.
he's seared and he just turns
Oh
into
yeah,
ash.
and the ash falls down. I can see that actually. Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Sort of thing. Because some units in the game do have custom like kill animations, don't they? So for example, when a Baneling hits a Marine, they have that custom death animation, don't they?
Same for Hellions as well, right?
Yeah, Hellions have their own one as well.
And then
so
when they
is-
kill a Ling, it turns over on its back and it goes.
yeah, it gets crispy, doesn't it? Sort of thing. Yeah. So I probably think that Protoss have the most like across the board death animations, right? Because they all just explode.
They
Don't
do, however, the Zealots, there's a lot of like physics on their particle effects when they explode. Like if you see a Zealot get hit by even a Stalker shot, sometimes you'll see like a dust cloud go poof, horizontally
Oh, like
as
from-
they kind of like phase out of existence.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's quite
He's
cool.
building a fleet beacon.
He's building a fleet beacon.
That's probably worth talking about.
This kind of looks like what he was doing against Savage, to be honest.
It does.
Which I thought was a bit.
I
of a
thought that
meme.
was a meme build, but here we are. He's doing it in.
This is not a meme build by
So-
any means.
So with double Stargate, you can go Void Rays, and then you can go into a gateway-based army with Templar, or you can go straight into Disruptors, or you can go straight Sky Toss. And I think going straight Sky Toss is a great way to say, if you go Lurkers, if you go Lurker Queen Walk, I'm gonna have carriers, and you're gonna die. Like that's not gonna matter. I have
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah.
I have nothing on the ground. I have
I-
nothing on the ground. Lurkers are useless.
I also feel like this might be a bit of a response from Matt's like last previous two games where he did like a roach like all in kind of, well, not all in, but he did like a lot of like roach aggression and pressure, and then Zayn saying like, right, if you're going to build loads of roaches and try and like kill me, I'm just going to do what I did to Savage, or I'm just going to build loads of carriers and loads of Void Rays, right? He already knows that Matt's a bit more of a passive player and he's not going to be hitting at like the 6-7 minute mark. He'll hit at the 10-minute mark, but it's like he's just saying like, cool, I'm going to have loads of like air units now that you're not going to be able to kill with your roaches.
So I mean, it's interesting to see. I don't know if Matt scouted the fleet bacon, or at least the second Stargate. Did he at least see the second Stargate?
No.
Because he has opted to go for a Spire this game, which is going to work out for him, I think.
It's going to help him in the long run for sure. When he realizes that that Zayn has built a fleet beacon and that he's massing carriers, it's going to be handy to be able to build a few corruptors here and there. But I reckon he's going to build muters. I reckon he's going to do that like 5 muter harass build where you then attack with the roaches, which is going to fall flat on its face when he realizes that Zane's got like 3 or 4 carriers already, you know.
And getting weapon up air upgrades as well.
Like, he's just going to realize that this is going to hurt.
Yeah, this is going to be a scary Skytoss army by the time he gets there.
By the time, the question is he going to get there? Probably.
Yeah, like they're both at a pretty high and comparable drone count, and the 4th base for Matt is only coming up now. But he is going for the +1 weapons. I imagine, yeah, this is just going to be pure corruptors. So Zane's gone for these early carriers. I think Matt knows about it. I don't know how he knows about it. Like, he might have scouted it. He might have just saw the timing of stuff. But he's going to just make so many corruptors.
Well, it's funny. I tell you what, he did this same build in game 1 against Zain. So I feel like this is just like a Matt build, you know, where he builds the Roach Warrant and then he builds the Spire. And like this time he just got lucky. You know,
Right,
it's like he just had the Spire prepared this time. It's like, okay, cool, fine. Let me just build 12 carriers. I mean, 12 corruptors and kill the carriers.
And he saved the recall for it, so that's spot on. Yeah,
that's completely fine.
I really like this. This reminds me of like a battlecruiser build from Terran.
It's like a backwards battle.
Yeah, it's like I don't teleport, but I recall.
Yeah. I kind of like it. It's kind of funky.
If he gets +2, he can do it. There's a nice timing with +2 now. So I think his +1 air is just finishing.
It's gonna have like 7 Void Rays and 4 carriers. It's gonna be pretty saucy.
Yeah, and what do we have for Matt? So he's got a lot of corruptors, and he's gonna go start vomiting on the Stargates.
There's a chance.
Void Rays, though.
I know the Void Ray is gonna finish, but it's probably gonna die straight away. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, it's got support.
That's a lot of corruptors now. I reckon that's
Void Rays with speed are actually pretty nice here.
I think the Protoss army still wins.
Does it? I feel like with a little bit of focus fire there, all those corruptors should be able to kill the. I guess he's got +1 attack.
He's got 7 Void Rays.
Well, now so does Zern. Yeah, he can snipe these carriers. Ooh, that was
yeah, man.
That's fine. I think the Protoss army probably wants to sit above a shield battery right now, to be honest, because Zerg is going like, okay, I'm gonna make 50 corruptors. I'm exaggerating, but he's gonna make so many corruptors and dive bomb and try and just trade everything out and then go, right, now I can remax on a Roach army because you can only make Stargate units a couple at a time. I can hold a button with 20 larvae and make a million of anything. So all I have to do is...
My brain is melting, sorry.
Why? What is happening? Yeah, so if you can just trade these out, this is actually really good for Zerg.
Wait, you're just trying to trade the corruptors for the Skytoss?
Yeah, you reset it. If you reset the size of it, it's not too bad. Zain has to be very careful.
I think corruptors vomit on buildings that are still being built.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. It would help if I'm following you.
With both arms crossed, holding the mouse or keyboard when you're
I'm like watching you thinking about like, this looks interesting. I wonder how this is going to go.
Shall we go back and watch that Overlord again?
Well, no, I mean, look, his final resting place was here, you know?
Yeah, we can just stare at the floor where he pooped himself out.
Poor guy. I mean, we have... I can't even find an Overlord out of that.
The Void Rays here are so nice, and there's nothing that really beats Void Rays. Zerg. So.
He's now building 4 Void Rays at a time as well, so, you know.
Yeah, I really like this from Zain. He goes carriers first and then Void Rays, which I think is actually really cheeky.
It doesn't make sense,
really cheeky.
right?
No.
You always think, oh, well, the carriers are a tier 3, so you need to build the Void Rays while you're waiting for the carriers.
And, like, you know how he keeps sending those 2 carriers across the map? Did that, like, do a bit of harassment?
Yeah, but Matt's getting a lot of value here off of these snipes.
Wow, he's starting to one
Yeah,
shot.
he's killed like 4 units.
Oh my god.
Boom, 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 boom. And now Zane's behind an army supply. He's got to be careful, yeah, so every time he does this, he oversets slightly, loses 3 Void Rays for nothing.
Yeah. And the Void Rays are very expensive units as well. You don't want to be losing them for nothing, especially when they're like the front line of your army here as well. Wow, all of those Void Rays getting killed now. Oh, he goes straight to the carrier. Wow, those are so good trades. Doing really well there. The Ling run by as well, probably for both recall as well. Alongside the fact that he's probably going to lose his army.
But, like, if you're Zain and you take stock of this situation, you could think, alright, it's literally Ling Corruptor. That's what I'm dealing with here. If he were to make Archons, if he were to, you know, there's a lot of avenues for him, I think, to create an army that's good. If he keeps making just Void Rays, not too bad. But he can't bleed them out like that.
Nah, he can't be bleeding them out at all, really. Not at this late stage in the game, where... and the thing is, well, Matt's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger, which is really like bad. You know, he's building more bases, he's getting his upgrades, he's getting more like gas to spend on stuff. He's going to keep harassing, he's going to keep pushing. And I feel like he's trading like really efficiently as well. Oh, just as I say that, two carriers go down.
And it's literally just the speed difference between carriers and Void Rays, and Matt's got the control to punish it. So if you move your army one time, the Void Rays, even if a Void Ray is overcharging and the other ones aren't, then the one that's overcharging is slightly out of position, it gets sniped. It's just all these little things Matt is taking advantage of. It's really nice.
I love that. I think it's kind of cute to transfuse the corruptors, you know? I feel like it's when you're the Terran player and you're repairing your Vikings after like a bad fight. You know, you're like showing them like love and appreciation.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm gonna take
Like,
care
oh,
of you.
who's a good boy?
Yeah,
who's a good boy?
Here, have a transfuse.
How many
Yes.
Protoss lives did you take today?
Yeah, you killed a Void Ray? Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh, you just sit. Oh, water, please, no action.
Oh, you're not going to get very much damage in this game.
Right, now the Void Ray count is getting very scary. It's really starting to pile up. How many do we have now?
Yeah, their army supplies are not that far off, actually, considering the bad trades they've been getting. Even he's got +3 air weapons on the way, 10 more crushers in production.
16 Void Rays at this point.
17. Good guess. Good number. Good knowledge. I like how their armies are also like very much like clones of each other as well.
Yeah.
Like you have the Void Rays and then you have the Corruptors. You know, it's basically like the air equivalent of each army.
Some Vipers.
Yeah, the Vipers are going to be really tough to deal with. A couple of parasitic bombs on that Void Ray clown, all of a sudden, things not looking so good.
And here we go. We're going to see a couple of parasitic bombs going down. Wow, massive
One or
one.
two.
Getting right in the middle. The shield's being taken off all those Void Rays. Matt being cautious not to trade, but I think he knows now that he's in a strong position where he will be able to kill the Void Ray.
And even if Matt loses any of these corruptors, that's fine. He can just make 20 more. Like, he's got the larva, right? Oh, Zain. 3-0 for Matt. 3-1. 3-1 for Matt.
3-1.
Notice how we don't hear the elephant.
We don't hear him stomping down just yet.
You know, we heard him before when he won and he would come straight running down the
We'll
stairs.
get his post-match
We're all-
thoughts for sure, though,
We
when
will
he comes
definitely get his.
downstairs.
Oh, I should-
I'm going to get out of the way and make
I
space
should
on the
do
couch.
the chat. Here we are. Chat. Magnus commenting about my lovely...
I tried.
He did well.
You
Oh,
did?
the micro.
Yeah, I thought you played quite well, to be fair. Even for someone that doesn't like have the capabilities to micro, you know what I mean, because of his setup.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
job.
it's alright sometimes, but then like with the, I think I shouldn't have gone for the voids. I think with the voids,
No, I think
I always move the screen a lot, and then it really screws me over.
Even still, I feel like building that many Void Rays is just asking for trouble. You know?
oh,
I feel
it's a style. It's a style.
like...
yeah.
I feel like a few stalkers, like Dane was saying Archons. Dane was saying like you should build some Archons, I think. and had
Yeah,
them, like,
you can
underneath
go
the army.
Archons if you only go for 2 Stargates, but I went for 4.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's like one of those things you look at, you're like, you know what would be really nice here? If
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
just, like, print units and be like, 10 Archons.
You can make Archons from the Stargate.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But because you don't have the infrastructure,
Yeah,
you can't do
yeah.
that. I was saying, it felt to me like all that the Zerg needs to do in that kind of situation, if it's pure Skytoss versus pure Corruptor, is just run in and trade and then remax.
Yeah. The issue is that I just didn't. I lost badly.
Yeah.
I traded badly initially, and then from there, then it just snowballs. Like you need to make sure you don't lose anything, so your Void Rays can overpower them.
There was a couple times where it was like, literally, there was 2 Void Rays that hadn't been overcharged. And when you A moved, they charged ahead, and then they just died.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like that
Stuff like
little
that.
mistake,
Yeah.
like tiny little mistake.
That screws you over because you lose stuff for free, basically.
The margin for error at the high level of Protoss play
Yes.
is razor thin.
Yeah.
Razor thin, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Razor
razor
thin.
Right.
Raz is playing Savage now, right?
Yeah, should we
that's
check the
right.
bracket?
That is correct.
Let's check the bracket.
We can have a look.
I opened up Dane's WhatsApp by accident, but I didn't mean to. Sorry.
Still there.
I mean, it's probably not logged in, so I'm not too worried.
Yes,
about
now
it.
we have Razor Savage going on, and then we're gonna have
Savage 2-1 Chelch.
Are we gonna have
Yeah.
a battle of the brothers in the losers
Yeah.
brackets final? Do you think? Yeah.
I think one brother's favored though.
You think your brothers? Why would you say that? You're Protoss.
Crippled.
Protoss OP.
Crippled. I'm crippled.
Oh, because of the
Yeah.
setup. Yeah, it can't be
Yeah.
that bad, can it?
Well, you should watch me play. Like,
Do you want to try playing on my laptop?
nah.
Because that will be tough. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a very small
that's
screen.
tougher.
Yeah?
That's tougher.
That's a very small.
That's
screen.
because I use the middle scroll to move my camera a lot.
Yeah.
And then every time I use middle scroll, there's a chance I just end up in a random place on the screen.
You like it's like when I'm casting, I do middle scroll because it's
Yeah.
very smooth, right?
Yeah.
If you do the right, if you hold the what's that called?
Drag
you,
scroll.
What when you put the screen to the right, the mouse to the right?
Just
Edge
edge
scroll.
panning.
Yeah, edge panning. When you do edge panning, it like jitters,
Yeah.
and it obviously doesn't look nice when you're trying to observe. Where
Yeah.
if you hold down the middle mouse, like it's very smooth, isn't it? The movement of it. So I tend to try and do that for observing and stuff like that. But I never used it in a game.
I always use it.
I never
Raz
used
uses
in
it
a game.
too.
But what for? To micro and stuff, yeah?
Just to move the screen.
Really?
Yeah, like
I mean, it's more efficient, right?
I think it's better technically,
Yeah,
but it's.
'cause
I mean, you don't need a switch or anything. But
The difference is that, like, so for example, you can just click middle mouse here, can't you? And then you can move
yeah,
left or right.
if I want to
Where-
move the screen a little bit, I just
Yeah.
quickly can do it without having to move my mouse.
Yeah,
to-
whereas if you want to go somewhere, you have to go like that. And also,
Yeah.
I feel like when you put it to the edge of the screen like that as well, it's more likely that you're going to, like, over swoop, if you know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, under swoop. Whereas if you do the little small motions, then
Yeah, it's
you're
all about swooping.
swoop,
Yeah.
swoop, swoop. The corruptors swooped in and the
Yeah.
void rays swooped out, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Here's what happened in that game, you know?
Swoop to their death.
Swoop to their death. So what's going on with this next game?
So we're gonna take maybe a 2-minute breather.
Okay.
So if we can pop out for a second. Then we're gonna see Raza versus
Oh, wrong one.
who is it? Raza Savage.
Savage.
Yeah, Raza
Savage.
versus Savage in the lower bracket. The winner of that will play against Zain, and the winner of that will play
Matt.
against Matt in the
Yeah.
finals. So we're gonna take a quick little break, guys, to set up this game, and we'll be back very shortly.